All right, welcome back to V.O.C. YouTube channel. College football playoff is set. I have Jonathan here, special guest. He's a Michigan fan, if you can't tell. He was one of the Michigan fans that wanted Jim Harbaugh fired 2 years ago. So
I'm going to stop you there.
so just take that into consideration.
Bull crap.
Take that into consideration as we do this video. So as he talks about how great Michigan is, just remember that. So yeah, he brought his child with him because he wants to get schooled. He wants his kid to be taught some things. So with that being said, let's jump into it.
And here we go. First off, I was a Harbaugh backer. Don't you ever say that again in your life.
I don't remember your tweets.
I'll punch you right in the nuts.
We'll bring those tweets back.
You can grab those tweets because there are none. Jonathan loves Jim Harbaugh.
You deleted them, that's what it is.
No, negative.
Okay. You're a tweet deleter. It's fine.
I've never deleted anything.
All right, so let's jump into it. Playoff is set. Georgia is 1, Michigan is 2, TCU 3, Ohio State is 4. Bama ended up being 5, Tennessee is 6. Do you agree with it? Do you not?
I agree with it, but I don't, because I remember back in 2016 when JT was short, and and Michigan would have won that game if the refs didn't cheat and have buddy things going on.
Yeah, don't believe it.
It happened.
He was definitely short.
Slapping players on the butt.
He was definitely short.
He was definitely short. So now we let them in, but we didn't let Michigan in back then. It just shows favoritism, in my opinion.
Well, I disagree with the whole fucking playoff thing because I don't like the 4. I said that from the very beginning of yesterday. The 4 is awful. It should have been Georgia 1, Michigan 2, I agree. Top 2 teams in the country, easily. They've set themselves apart.
Yeah.
But to have little old cute Cinderella TCU in is awful. To me, you had a chance to win to secure your spot. You lost that game. You're out.
Well,
Recency bias, you're out. And the way you lost, you had 30 seconds on the clock, 30 to 40 seconds, 3 timeouts, 2 timeouts, and you kneeled the ball for overtime because you knew you were going to make the playoff. That's my problem.
You're right, and you did. You texted me as soon as that happened.
You don't deserve to make it.
But as a Michigan fan,
you like the matchup.
I love the matchup.
It's going to be a blowout by 30. And when that happens, when you guys beat them by 30, we're going to come back to the same discussion December 31st around 8 o'clock, and we're going to say they didn't deserve to be in.
No,
granted.
That's not coming out of my mouth.
And I'm going to be right. And I'm going to be right. That's what I'm saying. So the way I would have put the playoff, like I said, Georgia 1, Georgia 1, Michigan 2. Clear top 2 teams. Yeah, I agree with that. I said last week, Michigan. I didn't think they could win one. I think they can legitimately win.
Yeah, they're going to win one.
I don't stop the boat there.
We got Stinson Bennett. We're coming for him.
I would have had Ohio State 3 and Alabama 4. That's the way I would have done it because those are the 4 best teams. Alabama, if you do a line right now, Alabama would be favored in every game over Georgia. Other than Georgia, they'd be favored in a game against Michigan, a game against TCU, and a game against Alabama.
I don't think they'd be favored against Michigan.
They would by maybe a point.
What, a half a point?
Yeah, that's a favorite though.
What did they play Georgia? Did they play Georgia this year?
No, they didn't.
I don't think that. I don't think.
Is your kid sick?
I don't know. He's probably got the Rona.
No. Or I said either Alabama or if Hendon Hooker was healthy for Tennessee, they should have been in. But I don't agree with TCU being in there. I don't.
Tennessee, they did what they had to do to get in.
TCU?
Yeah.
You said Tennessee.
Oh shit.
It's fine. But that's what I'm saying though. You had your chance to secure your spot and you lost. Just like USC. You had your chance to secure your spot and you lost.
Did they not blow Kansas State out this year?
I don't know if they did or they didn't. It feels like every game they've ever played has been a close game.
They blew them out. I'm pretty sure.
They barely beat Baylor.
Well,
basically,
Baylor's not a bad team.
The way that they talked about Kansas State, the committee chairman did, I think that they valued Kansas State as a better team over TCU. But the record, the way that he talked this morning,
they're number 10. That's a good win.
But the way he talked this morning,
3 in overtime.
But the way he talked this morning, you could hear that if Kansas State was 11-1 or 12-1, just like TCU, they had been in over. That's the problem with this system. No, so Kansas State lost to them 38-28. It wasn't a blowout.
Yeah, it's close.
10 points.
10 points.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like we put in these teams, well, they deserve it. They earned a spot. My argument was TCU didn't earn a spot. They lost a spot yesterday in the playoff. But this
to play the number 10 team in the country down to overtime. But you're right. I mean, they did play for overtime. They
That's
shouldn't
the
have done
problem.
That was.
And then you don't deserve to get in those last play calls you had. Horrible play calls because they were playing for the safe. We're in anyways.
You're right, and they should have ran play action there when they got down to the goal line and then overtime. They went play action. They'd have scored.
They'll lose. They'll lose by at least 30 to Michigan.
That quarterback could possibly be the next Tom Brady. I'm telling you, dude. He's got moxie.
They'll lose by at least 30. They'll lose by at least 30 to you guys.
No. You're never going to hear me say we're going to blow somebody out.
But
ever.
They're going
never.
to, but
and you never
But
have.
it won't be a game though. That's my problem. If you guys would have played, you guys would have been so scared shitless if you had to play Ohio State.
You're correct.
You would have been scared.
Because see here now, if we play Ohio State again, third time's the charm, right?
Yeah.
It is. And then everything goes back to the shithole where we were the last 10 years. I guarantee.
But here's my argument with this is where I would have at least ranked Ohio. If you're going to do TCU in the 4, you at least rank Ohio State higher than TCU. They should have been 3 because
they said idle all week.
But they're a better team than TCU. If they played right now,
maybe,
and a line came out, it would be 15 points Ohio State. At least 10. But I made an argument last night talking to my dad. With Ohio State, you could make an argument they haven't played with their best player all year.
Who was their best player?
And that's Jackson Smith-Njigba. So they've been depleted all year. I'm just saying, they've been depleted all year if you look at it.
Let me tell you this. Every morning I wake up, I say, fuck Ohio State. It's the first thing
that's
on my
fine.
mind.
That's fine.
Thank God for another day. And then I say, fuck Ohio State.
That's fine.
Fuck them. Oh, they're all pussies.
But
we've proved that the last 2 years.
But if they beat Georgia, how scared would you be?
Yeah. I might be a little bit scared.
All right, so now let's talk about the matchup. So Georgia and Ohio State will play in the Peach Bowl, which is in Atlanta. So basically Georgia's backyard.
Yeah, home game.
Pretty much.
Home game.
And then Michigan and TCU will play in the Fiesta Bowl.
Home game.
All the way out in Phoenix.
It's pretty much a home game for them, too.
What the hell is wrong with this kid? All right, so the lines basically came out. I use the ESPN app for lines just because they're the ones that give more generous lines.
Michigan 9.5. What's the other game? So
as of right now, Michigan TCU is 9.5. I think Michigan wins by at least 40. Every chance. It's not going to be a game. And the Ohio State Georgia game is Georgia 7. Is there a chance that Ohio?
It's only 7.
Yeah, because this is Ohio State is that talented. That's what I'm saying.
They're that talented.
They're that, not that they're going to play great every game and
that talented.
that they're the most physical team or they're the best team, but they're that talented.
They're that talented.
That gives them.
They're not football players.
That gives them 4 points.
I'm pretty sure I heard. I think it was Joel Klatt said last week. They're talented, but they're not football players.
I get it, but that's what talent gives you.
Yeah, but you have to be a man to play this sport. I'm pretty sure I told you that when you were fucking 13.
But I think that you
have to be a man.
Consistency also helps them. Look at where they've been. They've been the top team in the Big Ten. That gives you 3-4 points against Georgia.
Standing on third, Caleb.
I don't disagree. I mean, the way that he's fumbled the bag for Urban's program is true.
He definitely. So, I think Georgia. I think the TCU Michigan game is closer than the Georgia Ohio State game.
I don't think so.
And here's why. Georgia's going to come out. They're a lot like Michigan, and they're going to punch them in the fucking face, right?
I get that.
And they're going to punch them in the face, and Ohio State's done by the second quarter because they're not men.
I get that.
They're not men. They're they're pussies.
All I'm saying is though, TCU is
Charmin.
Maybe if you put them up, I think that they could be the 8th best team in the country.
TCU?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Because they're that bad.
I'm not gonna.
They've had
bitch about TCU.
This Cinderella rise.
Yep.
And they have their first year head coach and blah blah blah. I don't care.
We're fine with it.
Well, yeah, you're fine with it.
We love it
because you're guaranteed a shot in the national title game.
Yeah.
You're guaranteed a national title shot.
And then you know what comes back to my mind? If we win that game, remember the pictures that came out last year after we lost to Georgia, and it was JJ. And it was Blake, and they're standing there watching them celebrate, and they said, this will never happen again. It's not going to happen again.
No, like I said, your best matchup was TCU. You didn't want to play Ohio State because you've been scared.
Right. You're right. No, I would have been scared to play Ohio State. Third time's the charm.
So, did you have a problem with Ohio State getting in, though?
I did. The exact same scenario as 2016 when JT was short because he was.
Yeah, but
if you're watching this video and you say JT wasn't short, you're fucking lying.
no.
JT was short.
I get what you're saying. So yeah, you disagree. We went that. But who would you have rather had in there though?
Over Ohio State?
Yeah.
Tennessee.
With no quarterback.
With no quarterback, yeah. Why not?
Delusional.
It's not delusional.
You're delusional. He's delusional, America.
It's not delusional.
It's delusional.
If Bama or Tennessee, either one. Would I wanted to play Bama? No. Would I love to play Tennessee? Yes.
Well, it's like it's funny how this works because like right now how the four say you could TCU's the worst team out of the four, and then Ohio State's better than TCU. They're 3. Michigan's 2. Georgia's 3. That's how it should. But my other problem with this committee, and this is why it's great that we're expanding to 12 teams, because then we won't have this argument.
No, you're right. We're not going to. But then we're going to have the exact same argument
about an 8-4, 9-3 team, which I'd be fine with that because a 12 team is different.
And I'll tell you what. So here's my bitch with that. There should never be, and this is going to kind of contradict what I just said, but there should never be a team that loses more than one game in the playoff bracket. There shouldn't be.
Yeah, but with 12 teams, it's going to happen.
Well, it's got to happen.
But here's
and it's all going to go SEC, Big Ten, no matter what. SEC heavy, Big Ten heavy.
Well, Notre Dame will be in there too every year. Every year, we will be. You seen our recruiting class?
Maybe if their coach stops having so many goddamn kids.
No, that's Jesus wants him to. He's a true Catholic man.
Whoa.
True Catholic man.
Don't bring religion into it.
Well, I'm Jewish, so that's why I'd like to do that. As I was saying, no, Kanye's horrible. That's what he said about my people. No, as I was saying though, the argument's we bitch about the 2 team. If a 2 team's better than a 1-loss team, I'll take it. But the next argument with the 12 team is going to be either a 3-loss team or a 4-loss team.
Yeah, and that's stupid.
The 4-loss team is going to now become the 2-loss team because if you're going to have 4 losses, even if say you play in the SEC and you play. Okay, so let's put this. You play in the SEC West, you're Ole Miss, right? Mm-hmm. You think Texas A&M is going to get better. Mm-hmm. So you lose to them. Mm-hmm. They're top 15. You play Alabama, you lose to them. Top 10. You play LSU, which I hate to say it, but they're going to be a top 10 program.
Yeah, you're right.
And then you play a team like, say, Auburn gets good with Hugh Freeze, top 15. You lose those 4 games. To me, I'd like that team. It depends on how they'd lose.
So should we just turn it into a Big Ten SEC tournament challenge like we do in basketball?
It almost became that with
might as well.
The way that the conference rigs alignment's going anyways.
You might as well.
Because this is where these other conferences, to me, are delusional. If I was the Pac-12, the ACC, and the Big 12, I would just make one super conference.
They might as well.
And then you have 3 super conferences to go against. Because the Big Ten, like I said last week in my video, with the way they've hired coaches and the way they've moved to expansion,
right.
they have a shot to overtake the SEC.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get USC, who is going to be a big major problem for Big Ten teams.
Yeah.
And they're going to, matchup-wise, with the athletes that they're going to have.
Yeah, but who does USC have at quarterback after?
They have the number 2 overall commit coming in right now. Going to be pretty good. With Lincoln Riley, he's got a great track record with quarterbacks. UCLA is a Big Ten team, the way that they play.
Yeah.
They're physical. Yeah. So they're going to play.
Man sport.
But
physicality wins.
It goes back to we want expansion. See, we're going to get 12, and then we're going to bitch we want 16.
I would have been fine with 10.
Well, they did the 12 thing because the top 4 teams will then get buys.
Right. So if we just keep expanding, right? So why don't we just start at the beginning of the season, right? You're in a tournament.
But
why not?
This is why we kind of like basketball. But this is what I've said though. With the expanded playoff, we should get better matchups in the beginning. There should be an SEC Big Ten challenge. There should be a Big 12 ACC challenge.
Absolutely.
At the beginning of the year, you play one guaranteed game. You have to play another Power 5 ranked team, and it should be based off where you finished last year.
It's just
so say Michigan won the Big Ten this year. Going into next year, they'd play Georgia because they were the SEC champ. Boom. Play 2.
They're going to play in the championship.
But I'm saying for the next year, with the expanded playoff, this is how the matchup should go. Mm-hmm. You're number 1 in the SEC, you play the number 1 team in the Big Ten. You were number 2 in the Big Ten, you play the number 2. That's how it should be. To start out the year. Because as fans,
might as well.
We should, with the expanded playoff, you're okay to lose 3 games, 2 games. Play better team. It's not going to happen because it's going to be Michigan play their Make-A-Wish schedule that they did this year.
No, fuck you. You're wrong.
Next year's even worse of a Make-A-Wish schedule.
Hey.
I love how you give other people shots, but
it gets you there. It gets you there. That's what everybody else does, right?
not Ohio State. They played
Ohio State play.
They played Notre Dame, and they play them next year too.
Played Notre Dame.
That helps you over. I'd much rather see Notre Dame on a schedule than to see Colorado State.
Notre Dame's not.
UConn.
That's not even. Is that a top 15 win?
Yeah, it should have been, but Caleb Williams happened. Caleb Williams happened.
Exactly, Caleb Williams.
All right.
No Heisman.
So let's jump into the Heisman.
No
now.
Heisman.
Let's jump into the Heisman as I keep checking the timer on the camera.
What's the cat from you? What's the cat from TCU?
Max Duggan.
Max Duggan.
He lost yesterday.
Heisman.
He didn't do it.
Heisman.
He didn't do it when he needed to do it.
Heisman.
He didn't do it when he needed to do it.
Heisman.
He didn't do it when he needed to do it.
You see that TikTok video? The one? Dog. Max Duggan with Max, right?
Yeah.
Dog.
I get it. But
Caleb.
if he would have won yesterday, maybe. He didn't win. All right. Dog. So going into this weekend, the front runner was Caleb Williams.
No.
He was.
Can't be on a 2-loss team.
No, going into this weekend, you're not even see this.
I'm listening.
You Michigan fans are just idiots. Going into this week, he was number one.
Dog.
CJ Stroud.
Pussy.
Okay. But you're saying he's going to win it now. That's what you've been saying.
Kitty cat.
That's what you've been saying. He's going to win it.
I've never said CJ Stroud. Actually, you're right. Yeah, I did.
You did.
CJ Stroud will win because he's from Ohio State.
You did say he's going to win.
Because he's from Ohio State and they get that favoritism. Bottom line.
Hendon Hooker, Tennessee.
Yeah, he's been hurt.
Just one game.
Yeah, he's been hurt.
One game. But up to that point, Tennessee's not 6th in the country without him.
You're right.
Max Duggan, you've already talked about it.
Dog.
Stetson Bennett.
Another dog.
This is.
He should be in the conversation.
I think the Heisman, this will be the closest it's ever been. Because it's wide open.
No, you're right. It is wide open. And it should be close. But it's not going to be. Because CJ Stroud's going to get it because now that Ohio State got.
For the first time in a long time, going into it, we don't know who the hell's going to win it.
It'll be.
I think it'll be Caleb Williams.
No.
Yeah.
2-loss team? No.
It's not going to matter.
He lost when he lost Friday night and got blown out.
But it doesn't matter because
matter.
People are going to look. A lot of people before this weekend, timer.
Jesus.
A lot of people before this weekend had their minds made up that he was going to win anyway.
You're right. If everybody voted that early, then yes.
I think votes were probably due today. When you look at it, a lot of people already made their mind up. He had the great game against UCLA, the great game against Notre Dame.
UCLA that good?
Top 25 team in the country. You discount. You're the problem with the playoff. This is what Nick Saban's talking about with the fans overlooking the top 25, the playoff expansion, the bowl games. You take everything for granted.
No,
if you're top 25 in the country, that's great.
This is what you're not remembering. The Heisman is for the best football player.
Yeah.
Not soccer, football.
No,
football. Max Duggan.
You're saying it pretty European when you say it. So you're fighting into American football.
Pause conversation. Did you know, going off subject here, did you know that the term soccer was invented in England?
Probably for us Americans to understand the sport.
Negative, Ghost Rider. It was because of rugby. They called rugby football. They called soccer football. And they couldn't figure out what was what, so they turned it to soccer.
Well, because as we know, England is not very good. This would probably ruin foreign affairs because I have such great pull around the world. England's not very smart. They're not as smart as us. Mm-hmm. They always wanted us. They could never have us.
You're right.
They've never beat us in anything. What did they beat us? What did they beat us in?
No, they always need our help.
What have they given us?
They always need our help.
Nothing.
And you know who else needs our help? Vote fucking Duggan. Football player, best football player.
Well, they don't have a vote.
The Heisman is a football player, best football player. I watched that guy yesterday get up after he scored a touchdown, then took his team and scored an extra point, and that guy couldn't even go. He said, fuck celebrating. We got to win the game.
What about best football player on the best team?
Dog.
Stetson Bennett.
I like that too.
He won't win it though because we look at it's kind of the way we used to look at Alabama quarterbacks until they got Tua, where the quarterback doesn't matter for Georgia.
Right.
They're going to win regardless.
Yes, absolutely.
But I would have thought that going
chip.
into this year. But he's shown me yet and yet again he's pretty good.
He's got that chip on his shoulder.
He's pretty good.
He's got that chip. I wouldn't mind that. I'd rather that than C.J. Stroud because I don't think he's going to win.
I'm telling you right now, Caleb Williams is going to win it. Because the other argument for Caleb Williams is he got hurt early in the Utah game and wasn't 100%.
Oh, bullshit. Not a dog then.
He played the rest of the game though.
Not a dog.
He just couldn't do what he could. I think.
Not a dog.
But I think so. If you look at him, he is a very talented player. He might be one of the most talented football players I've ever seen.
My Heisman, it's got to be a dog. Got to be a man.
What do you?
Got to be a dog.
No, look. I'm just telling you right now, Caleb Williams is going to win it.
You're probably right. He is, but he shouldn't.
Well, then who? Like it's like this argument of
Max Duggan.
What's his stats?
Dog.
This is where
I don't care about his stats. Dog.
Okay, then we should give it to the guy that sweeps the gym floors too.
It's the best. It's the best football player in America. And if you're not tough,
but he's not.
C.J. Stroud. If you're not tough, Caleb Williams, you can't win the Heisman.
All right, Max Duggins has 3,321 passing yards.
That's a lot.
30 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
Yeah. What's his QBR?
QBR is the worst stat of all time.
What is it? Tell me what it is.
It's the worst stat of all time.
Tell me what it is.
His rating is 165.
That's pretty good. I'm pretty sure that's near perfect.
Okay. Drew Pine against USC had like the highest passer rating in Notre Dame history.
I don't even know who that is.
The quarterback that just transferred from Notre Dame. We wish him well, but look, he just couldn't get it done for us.
You don't wish him well, don't I?
No, I do. He did a lot for the program. Without him this year, we're not bowl eligible. That's a fact.
Speaking of bowl eligible teams, Michigan State.
Hey, look, I'm not going to discredit.
Have fun.
I'm not going to discredit.
Have fun watching, buddy.
We pay our coach $10 million, and
for nothing.
He hasn't performed.
For nothing.
1 year. Next year will be the time. If he doesn't do it again next year.
No, he's probably just going to tell his players to assault people. Assault with a deadly.
Oh, okay. You want to talk about felons playing on teams now?
Look,
we suspended our players. You didn't. You've let a guy with a felony charge play on your team since October.
Caleb,
you're calling for prison time for a little scuffle in your messed up tunnel because you know I'm right.
America, let me tell you something. A assault with deadly weapon charge is way worse than carrying a gun around free.
Okay, but here's my problem. This is
when I'm working and somebody says, "I have a gun in my car," and that's the first thing they say on a traffic stop. Okay, 9 times out of 10. Oh, Chief's not watching this. I don't even look it up.
But the problem is,
did he try to kill somebody?
I don't know.
Did Mozzie Smith try to kill somebody?
I don't know.
No.
Because we'll never know because it's covered up all in the end.
No, he didn't because the cop walked up and he said, "I have a gun in the car."
I don't think the state players were trying. And look,
he was trying to kill him.
I don't condone what they did. It was horrible what they did. As an alumni of the school, I didn't like it.
Tried to kill him!
As an alumni of the school, I didn't like it. But here's the problem within football. Aaron Donald did the same thing in a practice. Myles Garrett did the same thing.
When I was in high school, we fought every practice. Anybody watching this can confirm it.
You're swinging helmets around?
Never swung a helmet.
That's my problem.
Except for the one time when one kid did one.
When it depends on who it was that did it, is what I'm trying to get to. Aaron Donald does it, we're okay with it. Myles Garrett does it, we're okay with it. These guys do it. It happens. It's actually happening more often than we think. I think swinging helmets around.
Well, yeah, I mean, what's nuts in the Pittsburgh Steelers?
That's what I'm saying, Myles Garrett. But what I'm saying is it's like the way that Michigan handled that, and then the Mozzie Smith thing, or his name should be Maisie Smith if you think about it.
It should be.
The way that they pronounce it to me is wrong. Mm-hmm. I hate Michigan, but if I played for them and I was him,
Mozzie,
and I was him, I'd be like, I want my name to be Maisie.
Yeah,
I played for a school with Maisie and Blue.
You have to.
Why would you not change the pronunciation? But my problem is the way Michigan handled it, where Jim Harbaugh went so crazy for the one thing. Like, he went so nuts.
So what you're saying is he pulled a Urban Meyer. is what he did.
Urban would never, because
Urban, you're full of shit.
Urban would never.
You're so full of shit.
Urban would.
You're wearing fucking Urban Meyer.
Urban would
right
at
now.
least go win a national title. At least will Harbaugh do that? I don't know.
That's what we're fucking gonna do.
But what I'm saying is, you went so crazy on the one side, and then this comes out, and it's like, oh, like this happened, and yeah, he's still gonna play. He's not a threat to the school.
No.
Blah 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 blah. That's my problem with it.
He has a CCW now.
Now he didn't when he got arrested.
How do you know he wasn't going to go qualify and take his CCW class?
Oh, that's like telling the bank. That's like telling the bank, hey, that's like telling the bank, hey, my car and my mortgage, I was just going to get the money tomorrow morning.
Bro beans, you don't know.
That's like,
don't know.
It's an excuse. But that
maybe it was 6 a.m. and he's got his fucking GAT and he's driving to take his CCW class and he gets stopped for speeding. He was going to do the right thing.
Doesn't matter. He didn't do it. He didn't have it already. Is my problem.
So how are you supposed to get it there?
Well, that's what the bank's going to tell you too. When your mortgage and your car are gone and you're behind on those, what are you going to go up with? This is what you're teaching your guys at Michigan. It's okay. No, it's not. Because you know what the bank's going to tell you?
If you're
get your ass on the street and you don't have wheels because your excuse was, but I was going to get it tomorrow. That's your excuse.
Cracker, please.
That's your excuse.
Cracker, please. He was going to go do the right thing. And you know he was.
I don't know that day. He didn't have it that day. That's all I'm saying.
Was it loaded?
Great question. We'll never know because not all the information is going to get out.
Good job, Washtenaw County.
Yeah, exactly. They did their awful job.
They did a great job. You give people breaks. Fair not firm is what a smart guy told me one time.
Makes no sense. So basically what you're
go get it.
And basically what you're implying with your people in Michigan is you're telling your kids it's okay to have bad taxes. It's okay to be late on your mortgage.
I didn't say nothing about no taxes.
It's okay to be late. It's okay to be late on your car payments because your excuse would be I was going to get the money. That's basically that's what you said. All right, moving on. I'm done talking about it.
Nope.
As the host of the show, I'm done talking about it. Because I'm right, you're wrong.
I'm never wrong.
Yeah, the people that say they're never wrong are usually wrong the most.
You just go ahead, Nick.
Just saying. All right. So as we were setting out in the playoffs, I wanted it out. It'll stay in. So let's talk about who we think is going to win national title. These first 2 games, national title. All right. You clearly, who do you think is going to win?
The national title.
Well, the first 2 games.
It'll be. Man. I'm kind of going towards conspiracy theory here. It'll be Michigan, Ohio State, but if Ohio State beats Georgia, it's a conspiracy theory for fucking TV views. But it should be Georgia. Georgia should wipe the floor with Ohio State because they play man football.
So Georgia, Michigan national title game is what you're saying.
Well, I'm hoping so. I'm not going to come out and I'm not a Michigan TCU game. I'm not commenting on. Because if I say something, either way, it's going to be wrong.
No, but you think Michigan's going to win?
I hope so.
The fact that
you're not going to get me on here saying they're going to win. I'm not going to do it because anytime I do that, it backfires.
No, it just shows that you're scared of your team at the end of the day against a little old piddly Cinderella TCU team.
I'm not scared. I hope Michigan comes out and smacks them in the mouth, and they should. And Blake Corum. I mean, maybe.
He won't play.
Maybe.
It's going to be close. So, you have Michigan, Georgia, national title game.
Michigan, Georgia.
Who wins the national title?
Probably Georgia.
Not a true fan.
I am a true fan.
No.
But I'm not going to come on here and say, oh, we're going to win by 90. Because we're not going to win by 90.
But if you just say you win, you have no shot of winning in everybody's mind anyways. So,
see, look, as a Michigan fan in the last 20 years, I've been taught to be negative.
Yeah,
negative.
That's your problem.
I'm always negative. Don't lie to me. I'm always negative.
You are, but that's your problem. You have no faith in your team. Negative. You have no faith in your team.
No, I've learned to be negative. If I'm negative, sometimes it comes with a positive. Right? Isn't a negative plus a negative a positive?
But that's not how it should be. You should have faith in your team. You should have faith in your team. You should have faith in your team.
Negative and negative is a positive.
Basically saying, you said you're always right, so therefore...
Negative and a negative is a positive.
Okay. So who I think Georgia will beat Ohio State. I think it'll be close in the first, kind of like the Michigan. I think it'll be close in the first half. Ohio State, playmakers. Would I be shocked if Ohio State won? No, I wouldn't be shocked.
I'll break TVs.
But I think at the end of the day, Georgia's the best football team in the country. They're not as good as they were last year.
No, they're pretty good.
But I can make an argument. They're not as good as they were last year on defense, but Stetson Bennett's better than he was last year.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
He could win the Heisman.
And they have the second best tight end in the country. The second best.
Yeah, because I'm the best.
Yeah, okay. You and your NCAA 14 guy.
Get it.
So no, I think Georgia. I think it's close till maybe about middle third, and I think Georgia wins.
Yeah.
Michigan, TCU, Michigan by 60.
No.
It goes up every minute, I think, because that's just the chances TCU does not have.
TCU's got a quarterback, dog.
You're saying that. I think what you're doing is you're doing psycho.
Caleb.
Is this what you're trying to? You're trying to hype this kid up because you know he's bad.
No.
And you're trying to hype him up so then he has a bad game.
Yesterday, and when he got up after getting that 2-point conversion, and he said, "Get the fuck off me! We're not done yet. We got to win the game." When everybody else
he didn't have that though in the last play of the game. He handed it off because he knows damn well he doesn't have it in him to win a game.
That was bad play calling. Yeah, I agree.
But if you're saying this kid is all this, and what I like to call it when a guy has the moxie for a team, I like to say he has the balls. He is the balls of the team. He's not the balls of the team.
How many rushing yards is that fucking
because
guy have
what he
yesterday?
should have done was he should have pulled the ball without telling anybody and then made the play.
You're right.
That's the guy who has the balls.
I'll give you a high five on that one. That's a good.
That's what I'm saying. If you have the balls and he's that big of a dog, you don't listen to the coaches.
No,
you do what you... No. Who cares? Because they didn't... The way that they thought in this game was they're going to lose. Even if they lost...
You listen to your
No, this is what you do. He had a chance to make a statement and he didn't make it. Because you don't listen to your coaches in that. Because you're already going to the playoff, clearly. That's the way we give it to you now. Win, lose, whatever.
You can't count them out.
Win, lose, whatever. This argument of their conference sucks. Their conference.
I'm not disagreeing.
Their conference, just like with USC,
they have Baylor and Texas,
where Booger McFarland on ESPN was like, "Oh, we damn them." This is what he talked about with USC. We damn them because they made it to their conference championship game. Who gives a shit?
First of all,
the only two conference championship games that matter.
Fucking Booger. So
I said Booger McFarland.
I know you did. I'm just saying Booger, so you can't listen to him.
Yeah, the guy with self-proclaimed name Booger. No, but the only two.
You think he ate him?
Probably. You have to with a name like that. You are what you eat at the end of the day.
Yeah, you're right.
But the best conference championship games, and if you win the conference, and I care about it, is the SEC and the Big Ten.
You're right.
Like, I don't care.
We don't care about Big 12 or independence or none of them.
I do care about independence.
They don't play in a conference.
Doesn't matter. You know the funny thing about Notre Dame is this just shows you how bad just shows you how bad the ACC really is. Is Notre Dame is undefeated in regular season games against ACC opponents the last 5 years. No, but that just shows you if they were in the ACC, we would destroy that conference.
No, they're not on. They've lost to Clemson.
In the ACC championship, you look at regular season games.
They shouldn't get to play in the ACC championship.
We did 1 year because of COVID, because we were in the conference.
Oh, because of COVID.
And we made it to the conference championship.
COVID's fake, people.
Okay, this is not what I want proclaimed. Okay, so Michigan TCU, 70 for Michigan at least. 70-point victory margin. Not that they're going to score 70-point victory margin. And then I think the national title game, I think at the end of the day, Georgia wins. Wouldn't be shocked if Ohio State wins.
Oh.
What are you doing?
Michigan by 1 million.
Okay, he said it, folks. That's what I wanted.
By 1 million.
I wanted to get it out of him. All right.
1 billion. Book it.
So Georgia.
Book it.
National title game, Georgia, Michigan.
Book it.
Because you guys get to play Cinderella. So it's like we're letting you guys just hang on with dangling fruit.
What's going to happen? And I'm going to be honest with you. Michigan's going to get beat by TCU because I just said that.
No, I think no. There's no shot. There's not a chance in hell you lose to TCU. All I'm saying is there's no shot in hell that TCU has against you. Let's look at because what I think is a very good indicator, and I hate ESPN, but they're like
ESPN.
They're
garbage.
their FBI, they don't have it right now clearly, but their FBI thing when it comes to like teams and like they're pretty good. Like they know who's going to win that game. The FBI for that game will be Michigan 99.999%, TCU 0.0000001.
That quarterback, if
Doesn't
our
matter.
defense messes around
Doesn't
like they
matter.
did yesterday against Purdue, he's a dog. He'll find a way.
I don't think so. Okay, so I think national title, Georgia, Michigan. I think the line will probably be
It's 9.5 now.
no, the Georgia Michigan game is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
The line for the Georgia Ohio State game is 7.
It'll be Georgia about 4.
I wouldn't be shocked if it's
4.5.
but I wouldn't be shocked if the line is bigger for the Georgia Michigan game, just because of how Vegas does this things. I would say
to get bets on Michigan. Yeah.
I would say that the line would at least it'd be around 6.5, 7, about the same.
That's not bad.
About the same.
Where's that game at? What's the national championship?
National title game.
What's the bowl game this year?
Well, that's just the national title game. So I don't know what location. Let's look. 2023
New Orleans. If it's in New Orleans, Michigan's screwed.
College
New
National.
Orleans. That goes back to Fab 5 stuff.
Location. Oh, it's all the way out in California.
So time change for both teams.
It's in LA. It's in LA. So
Yeah. I don't-
you would have
I
much
don't like
rather
Cali.
to have played
I don't like Cali.
the national title game where it was last year in Indy. Then it would have been great
Oh,
for you
well, we
guys.
would have went to that game.
Would have been to you.
I spent millions.
Would have been to you guys.
That would have been nice.
Yeah, I think you go to California. You said you're going to win by $1 billion against TCU, so you
Look,
got to have great
I'm not
confidence.
going to Cali.
So I think the line would be about 6.5, 7
Biggie Smalls went back to Cali. That didn't end well.
for Georgia, Michigan. I think at the end of the day, I think Michigan could win the game, but I think Georgia wins it.
I do. As a Michigan fan,
It's going to be closer than people think.
as a Michigan fan, I'm obviously going for Michigan. As a football fan, Michigan aside, I think that Georgia's offensive line, the Dogs, are a little bit better than Michigan's defensive line. Unless Mike Morris comes back. Mike Morris comes back, watch out.
I just think, though, I think Georgia just,
Mozzie will be.
yeah, he will be, because he's a criminal.
Have you seen that dude? You don't even need. He didn't.
Then why did he have it? No, I just think I think Georgia's. We talked about Georgia's not as good as they were last year. Defensively, yes, I think they're better offensively.
Michigan's
We said that.
quarterback's better than Georgia's. Running back probably better. Will be better.
I think
Stanson. See, here's the difference though. Stanson can manage.
Stetson.
Whatever. Stanson can manage if JJ gets pressure. Like yesterday, he made a couple of stupid mistakes.
That's the thing. That's
he
the
makes
thing.
mistakes because he's young and. that's
Well,
where he
Stetson made a
misses
mistake too yesterday, and it. Did you watch that state championship game?
No,
So
there's no point watching.
they fumbled the ball in the exchange. This guy, you have to go back and watch it. This guy had a chance to jump on the ball and get it back for his team, but instead he tried to block the LSU guy.
Not a dog.
Exactly, the dumbest play I've ever seen made. So
He was quarterback.
you think Michigan wins the national title by $1 billion? I think
You heard it here
Georgia
first.
wins the national title, close, but I think Georgia pulls away at the end. It's not going to be a blowout. It won't
Just
be a
gotta
blowout.
beat TCU.
It
That's all
won't-
we're looking at.
Yeah, so you said you're going to beat them by $1 million, Georgia by $1 billion. He said it first.
Billion.
Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know. You got anything?
No, I don't think so. This is
Duggan is a dog. Heisman. Caleb Williams. Pussy.
he said it. I
Soft.
didn't. So when Caleb Williams holds that Heisman Trophy, when is that? A couple weeks from now?
I don't know, but if you take and you write on your nails, F Utah, and then
He did
you
it for
get
Notre Dame too.
If you
He's done it for every game. It just got now.
and you
It's
get
got
blown
talked
out
about.
doing it, talking shit.
But did you see what Utah
That's like-
did? Did you see what their Twitter had his nails and they wrote it back to back because they're
Good.
back to back Pac-12
They're good.
champions.
Perfect. I
And-
love it.
And their quarterback said, "I don't give
Got
a
a little
shit.
Drake in him.
I don't give a shit." That's
Little
what
Drake.
their quarterback said.
Little Drake in him.
All right, that's gonna do it for the video. Breaking down college football playoffs. Idiot Michigan fan, of course, with me. You have to let these guys come out every once in a while. And now they've come out the last 2 years. After they wanted their coach fired, they did all these different things.
Never wanted him fired. Not once.
That's gonna
not
do it for the
never.
video.
Pull up the receipt.
Thanks
if you
for
got
watching.
him.